Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. This is Renee and I have a couple of things that I need to talk to you about with one of the videos that I uploaded on Friday. So the RAAM Refined colored pencils that I uploaded on Friday, beautiful set of pencils. It was brought to my attention that all of the color names are identical to the Norberg and Linden colored pencils that I reviewed many months ago. I was unable to actually find this swatch sheet because it was hidden behind the Norberg and Linden 120 set. So the 120 sets colors, names and numbers, I completely phased it that they're not actually Norberg and Linden's colors. So I looked and they weren't the same. So I moved on. And then somebody said, take a look at the Norberg and Linden 72 set. And sure enough, they are exactly the same. Now I spoke with Norberg and Linden. Well, I spoke to Clark Linden, who is my contact in Norberg and Linden, about this situation and the fact that this entire set is a duplicate of his names, and wanted to know if Norberg and Linden had rebranded to the RAAM Refined. And he went through my video and he watched my video and said, yes, those are Norberg and Linden's names on the pencils. However, we have not rebranded. So those are a copycat, probably done out of the same facility that he does his manufacturing from. So he is contacting the manufacturing company and will get back to me on what is going on there. But it does seem that these were a copycat of the Norberg and Linden colored pencils. I went through and did a color comparison with identical names and number and pencils throughout the RAAM Refined and the Norberg and Linden. And as you can see, there is a slight variation of the colors in most of these colors. For example, the Norberg and Linden Rouge is a bit of an orange color, where the RAAM Rouge is more of a red. The Norberg and Linden Rose Carmine is a lighter pink than the RAAM Refined. The Norberg and Linden Denia's Orchid is a lighter purple. You can't really see it too bad in the video feed, but on the page, it's a little bit lighter than the RAAM Deanna's Orchid. These two are pretty close. The Norberg and Linden's is a little bit darker than this one, and these two here are pretty close as well. So what I want to do is I want to go through and take a look at the Norberg and Linden, compare the two different pencils themselves, as well as compare some more of the colors. Another thing that I noticed with the RAAM Refined that I like better than the Norberg and Linden is their numbering system. I have not put the RAAM Refined in a bag yet. They are still in their tin because of this conflict. Now, I do like the way that the RAAM Refine's color system is. They are numbered, they are named, just the same as the Norberg and Linden. However, they are in color family, which to me is a bit of a big deal. The Norberg and Linden is all over the place. So it's hard to find them if you put them in your bag in number order. Now, another thing that I noticed with the difference between these pencils, let's see, this is cadmium orange, so let's see if we can find cadmium orange in the Norberg and Linden. There it is. So as you can see with the pencils themselves, they are about the same size. Actually, I think the cadmium is a bit chunkier. No, they look about the same size. So they are the same size pencil. The Norberg and Linden, of course, is a black barrel with a colored end, and the RAAM Refined is an entire colored barrel. The wood in the RAAM Refined seems to be lighter than the Norberg and Linden. This just seems to be a lot lighter of a pencil, which doesn't bother me much. It did feel cheaper than the Norberg and Linden when I first picked it up because of how light it is. So it may be a less expensive wood than the Norberg and Linden. They are put together the same way. As you can see, I'll put you on the close-up camera here so you can see it better. So as you can see, the Norberg and Linden has the joinage there on both sides, and so does the RAAM Refined. So they are joined together the same way with a gluing down the center. So let's sharpen both of them and see how well they sharpen. This is, of course, the Dial 133 sharpener. And I'm going to shake you up here a little bit because I've run out of room. So the RAAM Refined sharpened up very nicely. They don't seem to be breaking. And that joint hasn't separated at all. So they've sharpened up quite nicely. The joint sharpened up, it didn't separate, which is really, really good. Now, like I said, these are manufactured in the exact same facility. I do not believe they're made with the same wood. I do believe that the Norberg and Linden wood barrel is a higher quality of wood, and they're not made with the same pigmentation. Now, as you can see with the Norberg and Linden, it also sharpened up quite nicely. You can see the joinage there a little bit more defined, and I think the lead on this one is a little off. So let's try that again, because that's going to snap. So I'm going to sharpen this again and see if that pitting is something that is going all the way through the lead in the Norberg and Linden. It does seem to have, the Norberg and Linden for some reason has a bit of pitting in the lead, which is something that causes it to break more often when you're coloring with it. So I'm not saying that the RAAM Refined is a better colored pencil. The two pencils that I have chosen, this one has a defect in it. The RAAM Refined didn't have that defect. So let's choose a different color here that I haven't sharpened in either set. There are a couple of different colors that are missing from the RAAM Refined that are in the Norberg and Linden. At least I can't find them in the RAAM Refined. So what I'm trying to find is geranium, and I'm not seeing it in the RAAM Refined. but it is in the Norberg and Linden. So it's not an exact duplicate, unless I'm completely missing geranium, which could be possible, but I'm not seeing it in there at all. So let's take a look in comparison, the swatch sheet that came with each of them. I have the swatch sheet here for the Norberg and Linden extra large set. And of course, I've got the RAAM Refined here. Now, I'm going to zoom you out so you can see both. This will just take a quick second. No, zoom out, not in. And then we're just going to move you back a little bit so you can see, and turn off the light because that just makes things horrible. And because I moved you back, I got to focus you in. Oh, come on. There we go. I think let's just do that. Okay. So we have black, of course, Phthalo blue, and then up here we have our RAAM Refined, and of course we have black. Oh, I don't like that. That drives me crazy. We have our black, we have our brown black, and of course we know that in this one there is a brown black here somewhere as well. Yes, number 13 is brown black. It's really hard to find the colors when they're, oh, this is going to drive me crazy. Trying to get it to focus in on the wording, and it's trying to focus in on the white, which is crazy to me. But it's hard to find certain colors, especially when it's all mixed up like this. Geranium is there, so it's number 2. Ah, there it is. Okay, so geranium is in there. Let's see, terracotta is there. Sanguine is there. Yes. Crimson is there, definitely, because I used it. Where is it? Like I said, these are everywhere in the, as you can see with the Norberg and Linden, the swatch sheet is everywhere. So with the RAAM Refined, it's very segmented in the color order instead of in just a number order, and I like that better. Note to Norberg and Linden, put them in color order. But the unfortunate thing is that they're a knockoff. They are, I won't say a cheap knockoff, but they have borrowed or stolen. I don't like using the word stolen without confirmation, but they are a copycat of Norberg and Linden's names. Norberg and Linden, or well, Clark Norberg, or Clark Linden, sorry, has assured me that he has not rebranded his pencils. So these are not Norberg and Linden rebrand. These are RAAM Refined, and they have taken liberty and used Norberg and Linden's coloration and setup. They are not using the same core mix as Norberg and Linden, but they're very close. They are very, very close. They do have all the exact same names on their pencils. Of course, their numbering system and um, their numbering system is different. Of course, it goes from 0 or from 1 to 72, but they have kept their order in family order, which is, to me, a better situation. I like the way they lay down. I like the coloration of them. They do color quite nicely. I'm going to actually take a couple of them and do a comparison color for you. Now I'm going to actually do this on, I need a hard surface. I guess my cutting board is a little bit big, and I didn't really think about this too much, I guess. I don't want to wipe everything off my desk. So I'm going to do a couple of different colorings with them. And I'm going to refocus you here because that focus is terrible. I don't know why it's so bad. Okay. And I'm going to turn the light on so you can see a little bit better on the page. And we're going to take a couple of different colors. For example, geranium, because I know where that is. And geranium. I'm going to sharpen them up. Make sure that they both have the exact same attributes in point. Okay, so there's our RAAM Refined. And here's our Norberg Linden. Now, as I sharpen them, I can definitely feel the difference in the wood. The Norberg Linden is a bit of a harder wood. The RAAM Refined does seem to have a couple of flaws in this pencil where the wood was joined together. There's some big glue blots there. The RAAM Refined color is bleeding into the wood, where the Norberg and Linden's is not. And I'm just wiping the wood just to make sure that that's not dust from the sharpening process. And it does seem that the RAAM Refined are bleeding into the wood a bit, where the Norberg and Linden's are not. All right, so we're going to do, first we're going to do Norberg and Linden. And we're going to do geranium. Okay, and then we're just going to do our normal swatch. Nice light end here. And then a heavier end here. And as you can see, the Norberg and Linden has held up quite well for that. It's not too dusty, which is good. And the color is quite nice. I'm going to zoom you in just a bit further here so you can see up close that coloration. And then we have the RAAM Refined. Now the RAM seems to have a bit thicker of a core. The tip doesn't seem to be as stiff, I guess. And then we're going to do a light area here. and then a heavier area here. And I'm not getting a lot of dust, which is good. But the color is different. And this one, and you can't really see it too well in the picture. And I don't know why. I think it might be because of the light. Maybe. I'm just going to play with these settings a little bit so you guys can actually see the actual color of this swatch, because it is not, it's a very, very what is the word I'm looking for? It's a very slight difference. It's not a huge difference, but, and that is just showing orange, and it shouldn't be, because this is a very red. It's a little better, yeah. Sorry about this, guys, because this is a very red, and it's oddly showing orange, and I don't like that. So they are very, very, very close together. The RAAM Refined does have a darker, a little bit darker of a red than the Norberg and Linden Geranium. The RAAM Refined does seem to have a bigger lead. It's that, or else it's softer and it crumbled fat, or went down faster because of the. And I think that's what it is the RAAM Refined are a bit softer of a lead than the Norberg and Linden. And they are made from the same factory. Their mixture is different. So I'm going to color one of these floral areas here with a part of it as the RAAM Refined here at the bottom, and then this one up at the top, and see if there's a major difference up against each other like that. Just going to combine them. And there is a difference. It's not a major difference. I think if you were to grab the wrong pencil, you might see it if you're doing a larger area. Let's do this. So I'm going down and up and then down. I'm just going to bring that out past the line so that when I go over it with the other one, you can see where they combine. And then I'm going down, up, and down. So as you can see, there's not a huge amount of difference between the two. They both seem to cover about the same. They both seem to have pretty much the exact same color. And other than that, the RAAM Refined is definitely using a less expensive wood and does have the entire barrel covered with the color. It does have a better setup of color family and number system. The only unfortunate thing is that they have borrowed or stolen or acquired through whatever means they've acquired the Norberg and Linden color names and coloring of their pencils. I don't think that they're the exact same mix because the RAAM Refined do seem to be a bit softer than the Norberg and Linden. Let's see how they blend. Let's use the blender that I normally use on the Norberg and Linden, which is not here. So, crud, where is it? There it is, which is my Prismacolor blender. And we'll see. So the Norberg and Linden, as you can see, the Prismacolor blender picks up quite a bit of its color and blends pretty good. I'm going to wipe off the blender, make sure that I have none of that color on it. And then we're going to go across the grain and then with the grain. And the Prismacolor blender has picked up some of the RAAM Refined. However, it doesn't pick up as much. I feel that the RAAM Refined are have a lot more of the soft wax in it that the Prisma blender will pick up or will blend compared to the harder wax that is in the Norberg and Linden that the Prismacolor is just scratching off. It's a toss-up, guys. I'm really torn between these two pencils. There's, like I said, the horrible thing is that RAAM Refined has taken from another company their names and color number, like their color names and their colors. Another thing that I'm a little bit concerned with is even though it's a cheaper made barrel wise, it seems to be wax wise, core wise, it seems to be a bit better of a product, which is weird to me because Norberg and Linden, when I spoke with Clark Norberg, the product that he has tried to put forth is a top quality product. So what it looks like is RAAM has taken the top quality product that Norberg and Linden has put out, and I'm not sure if they've made it less expensive with adding more wax and a softer wax, or if they've changed it enough to make it their own with that softer wax. Now, as you can see, the Norberg and Linden blend out further. So let's try with a paper towel here. This is just a piece of napkin, and we'll do a dry rub test. And they both rub out on the dry rub test. Norberg and Linden a little bit more. Let's try a wet test. Grab my water brush here. Now these water brushes are great for doing wet tests because they always have water in them. However, sometimes I'm not strong enough to move the water out of them. Okay, so I'm going to go down for the RAAM Refined and up for the Norberg, or sideways from the Norberg Linden, so I don't go that way. So this is the RAAM Refined, and it's not going anywhere. And that's the Norberg Linden, and it is also not going anywhere. What is moving is what I rubbed off. So let's try it on one that I haven't blended, because I have found if you blend your colored pencils, they don't um, move with water. So if you have something that you can move with water um, before it's blended, make sure that you blend it. So as you can see here, the Norberg and Linden moves with the water. Not a huge amount, but enough that you can see it. And the RAAM Refined also moves with that water. Not a huge amount, but more, a little bit more than the Norberg and Linden. So that is another one of those pencils that if you're going to use it with a water product, make sure that you blend it first with a blending pencil, because it didn't move at all with the blender, with the blended areas. So the breaking news is that RAAM Refined has borrowed or acquired or stolen, and I hate using that word, the colors and the color names from Norberg and Linden. They are manufactured in the same facility as Norberg and Linden's colored pencils are. Now for the, I don't want to say it part, I absolutely adore Norberg and Linden's product and their colors and their pencils. But they are a different beast. They're the same colors, the same color name. Some of them are even the exact same color with a little bit of a difference. They feel different. The Norberg and Linden are a heavier pencil than the RAAM Refined. The RAAM Refined are quite light. But the colors in the RAAM Refined are a little bit smoother. And that's my honest opinion. The Norberg and Linden is a bit of a harder pencil than the RAAM Refined. So if you're looking for a really, I won't say really soft pencil, because they're not extremely soft. They're not like Derwent Color soft, but a softer pencil than the Norberg and Linden. The RAAM Refined are a softer pencil. Not a whole lot, but a bit softer, in my opinion. And sometimes my opinion means absolutely nothing, because sometimes I'm wrong, and I can be wrong. I'm going to try it one more time with another color, which is the indigo here. And I just saw indigo over here. Where was it? I know I saw it. There it is. Okay, so they have dark indigo and dark indigo. So both are the same pencils. Both have the same name. Of course, the numbers don't match up. The logos don't match up. You know, the text on the pencils don't match up, of course. The colors on the ends don't seem to match up either. This one here is more of a blue, and this is more of a darker purpley blue color, I guess. So we're going to go down here where it's not wet, and we're going to do this. This is the Norberg and Linden, and I'm going down and going back up, going down and going back up, and going down, going back up. So that's 3 ups and downs per side there. And this is the RAAM Refined. And I'm going down, going back up. That's 1, 2, and 3. So they're pretty much identical colors. I think the coverage on this one's a little bit better, but I think I've got a split in my, I've got a seam there somewhere that has caught. But otherwise, I think they're pretty close. And I hate to say it, but I think this one covers a little bit better. So, of course, make your own judgments. Personally, even though I absolutely adore Norberg and Linden, I think their products are wonderful. I do find that the RAAM Refined are a bit of a softer pencil. Now, these are both pretty flattened. Looking for the flat side here so that I don't. Yeah. See, I'm still getting that sharp, where with this one I didn't get too much of a sharp. Well, I guess there is a bit of a sharp there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're identical. Because now that I'm using more of a edge there, or less of an edge, more of a flat, I'm pretty much getting the same movement. No, this one here does feel softer. Yeah. This one, the RAAM Refined, feels like it has a bit of a softer lead in it, or a softer core, I should say. But like I said, their wood is definitely lesser, a lesser expensive wood, which does pose some possible inconsistencies in sharpening. They are fairly well centered. They're off a bit, where the Norberg and Linden has a stronger wood. And are much more centered than the RAAM Refined. As you can see, they also have a bit of bleeding in the core onto the wood, but they're pretty close. They are pretty close to almost identical. So I'm not sure if RAAM Refined has even completely copied the Norberg and Linden pencil completely or not, because they are pretty close to identical. And I may have been feeling the difference in lead consistency because of the way it was sharpened, because now that I've got them sharpened completely the same, I'm getting about the same consistency between both pencils. Yeah, it feels like they may have copied the entire pencil itself. Although with this rouge here being a different color, that makes me wonder if they have changed a few things in it or in pigmentation and whatnot, and heighten some of the pigmentation or remove some of the pigmentation, whatnot, or age of pencil, that sort of thing. I don't know. All I do know is I have spoken with Norberg and Linden, and even though the RAAM Refined do have the Norberg and Linden colors and names and whatnot and feel like the same pigmentation, they are a little bit lighter, and they are not the same numbering system, as well as the fact that the RAAM Refined are put together in the color family instead of the mixed up numbering that the Norberg and Linden have. Personally, I like the color family better, but that's just my opinion and my preference. I don't like the fact that I have a contact with one company that has had their pencils out for quite some time. And when I contact that company and they say, yeah, no, that isn't us, but yet it has the exact same colors and numbers. Well, not numbers, but colors and colorings, color names and colorings as the other. It makes me concerned on whether or not the manufacturing company that Norberg and Linden runs through sold RAAM Refined, Norberg and Linden's mixture and quality and coloration and that sort of thing, or that other than that, I can't think of anything else. Um, these manufacturing companies are trying to make money in any way they can possibly do so, and I feel, and this is 100% my own opinion, this is not something that was told to me by any Norberg and Linden or RAAM Refined or anything like that. This is just my thoughts on it, is I feel that the manufacturing companies are selling other people's mixtures and anything else like that to other companies to get those companies making money. The more colored pencils that they sell, the more they make, and that sort of thing. There are so many new companies coming out on the market, like RAAM Refined, different ones that have come out with the exact same 180 set. We all know who those are. The manufacturers are the ones that are pushing those things out. And I'm a little bit concerned on whether or not the smaller companies like Norberg and Linden um, can compete with having their product, sent out as a different company. Again, my opinion, and my opinion alone. The only thing I will say is Norberg and Linden did confirm to me that this is not, and I quote and I state again, this is not, the RAAM Refined product is not a rebranding of Norberg and Linden. And they are looking into what is going on there. If I receive any further information, I will let you know. But I want to stress again, and I absolutely adore Norberg and Linden's products, and I will continue to support Norberg and Linden's products. The RAAM Refined product is the exact same product, not a rebranding of the Norberg and Linden product, and not given permission by Norberg and Linden, as far as I know, to utilize their product names and colors. With that, I don't have any further information than that. I do know that Norberg and Linden is the person I speak to in Norberg and Linden is contacting their manufacturer to find out what's going on with this set and how this set came to be. If they give me any further information, I can't tell you. I have asked them to keep me updated, and if they do, I will definitely pass that information on to you. But I just wanted to put this out because somebody did bring it to my attention, and I have brought it to the attention of Norberg and Linden that this company has put out a colored pencil set that is identical to the Norberg and Linden colored pencil set. Other than a couple of colors that are a little bit off, like for example the Norberg and Linden Rouge here and the RAAM Refined Rouge are slightly off. Other than that, they are identical. There is a slight lack of quality in the wood with the RAAM Refined compared to the Norberg and Linden. Their wood barrels are a lot lighter. But other than that, they're identical. Sorry to be said, but unfortunately, it's true. I thank you all very much for watching, and I thank the wonderful, wonderful viewers that caught that and let me know. And I apologize for giving false information when I said that I wasn't able to locate ones that were the same in the color swatches. That was my mistake, and that was because I was looking at the wrong swatch. And I apologize for that 110%. I thank you all very much for watching, and of course, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber of the channel. Hit the subscribe button for me, please. It does help me out. It does get me closer and closer to being able to be monetized, and maybe start scratching out a little bit of a bankroll so that I can start producing and putting out more giveaways. If you haven't watched my Sunday special, please remember to go in and take a look at that. Of course, that is all about the upcoming auction in 2 weeks on March 14th, which is a Sunday at 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time. So if you watch that video, you'll be able to know how to register, I should say, how to register for the auction, as well as all of the wonderful things that are going up for auction. Of course, last but not least, oh, actually, no, I've got one more disclaimer to put out there. I am an Amazon affiliate, so any of the links provided below are Amazon links, affiliate links, and they do pay me a couple of cents out of anything that you purchase off of those links, of course, at no expense to you. And absolutely, finally, the last but not least whatsoever is always remember, let's get my tongue out, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Thank you all for watching. You have a fantastic, fantastic day, and I hope you enjoyed this wonderful Monday. Bye-bye for now.